Dark times lie ahead if you are Warner Brothers DC studio. The new studio, of course, being run by James Gunn and Peter Safran. The next couple of years for this studio are going to be a lot of bad news, a lot of failure, and a lot of flop. And that's just what they inherited. That's what's come up. We've got two films coming out. On August 18th, we've got, of course, the new Blue Beetle. On December 20th, we've got the new Aquaman, and both of them are going to struggle. They are going to struggle because that is simply the state of the DC EU, a cinematic universe that really, frankly, should have been rebooted 4 years ago. Maybe even longer before that, because it has been a systemic pattern of failure ever since. And when I say a pattern of failure, there's a number of the movies that have come out in that time period that I've really liked. Not all of them, but the number of them that I have really liked. And as somebody who has really liked some of these films, I am affirming that they have been a pattern of failure. Now, let's look at the last number of years of this. This is a graphic we used on one of our videos yesterday, but Black Adam, a movie 15 years in the works with the world's biggest movie star at the time, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That movie couldn't even make $400 million. 393. Shazam, which I thought was a wonderful DC, the first one made less than that at 367. Birds of Prey with Margot Robbie only made $205 million. Wonder Woman 1984, granted you can put an asterisk beside this, but still bottom line made $169 million. Suicide Squad, which also has a bit of an asterisk in that it was released day and date on HBO Max, only made $168 million. But, Dune, which was released the same year, also released day and date on HBO Max. It made $400 million. And then the most recent Shazam, Fury of the Gods, only made $133 million. And by the way, we've got Flash that's in theaters right now, a movie that I personally love. I don't think it's the best DCU movie. That title still belongs to the great and wonderful Man of Steel, but it's a great film. I love Flash. I think it's great. I've seen it twice. I liked it even better the second time. But as of right now, that movie's only made $140 million at the box office. The DCU is dead. The DCEU, I should say, is dead. And unfortunately, and we talked a little bit about this in an earlier video we made today about Blue Beetle claiming saying they made Blue Beetle as a part one of a 3-part trilogy and all that kind of stuff. And we said, that's great, but this movie's going to flop. It might be good. I'm looking forward to it. I think the trailers look like they have a lot of promise, but it's going to flop, and it's going to flop brutally hard. And then we roll into December with Aquaman, and Aquaman 2, I should say. And despite the fact that the last Aquaman movie in 2018 made over $1 billion, since then, we already looked at the list. Since that $1 billion take by the first Aquaman, this franchise has been totally choked out. And I'm not saying Aquaman's only going to make $150 million, not at all, but it's going to be a hell of a lot less than the first one made. And unfortunately right now, if you're James Gunn and Peter Safran, some people are pointing at the failures of Suicide Squad, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and saying, oh, they're already tripping. Well, you got to remember, we as film fans need to keep in mind, these were all movies made before James Gunn and Peter Safran ever took over. This is all part of what they inherited. We've been saying for a long time that the real James Gunn and Peter Safran new DCU, not DCEU, does not start for a couple more years with Superman Legacy in 2025. That is going to be the real things. But until then, we've got those last gasps of dying breath as the light is going out of the eyes of the old DCU and dying. The reality is we have a few more years of some really, really rough road ahead. And that has nothing to do with the new Warner Brothers. It has nothing to do with James Gunn or Peter Safran. These are movies that were greenlit and made as a part of a DCEU that's had a pattern of failure for years, and it's just what they inherited. But make no mistake, we are in for a couple more years of a lot of very, very bad news coming out of these two films, and it's going to be that way. Now, DC has an opportunity right now. James Gunn and Peter Safran face an opportunity right now with Marvel officially declaring that they're not going to be at Comic-Con in Hall H. That means the spotlight is all theirs. I've been telling you guys for a while that the new Superman Legacy that's coming up in 2025, don't expect that movie to be profitable. I believe it's going to lose money because, like a sports team, the DCU is going into what's called a rebuilding phase. When a team starts a rebuilding phase, you can't expect that team to make the playoffs next year. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but you can't expect it. I think Superman Legacy will probably lose a little bit of money, but the important thing is it's the first step in rehabilitating the public's image of DC. And with that, Comic-Con next month presents a big opportunity to early start that rehabilitation program. Come out big. Maybe you weren't planning on announcing who the new Batman was, maybe for a couple of more months. Maybe you weren't planning on announcing that other new project you guys have lined up that don't want to announce it. You don't want to announce that maybe till October or whatever. You know what? If you're James Gunn and Peter Safran, you got to sit down, look at each other and say, hey guys, Marvel's not going to be here this year. We got the spotlight all to ourselves. We have an opportunity to start that rehabilitation of our image. Let's go out. Let's go big. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, our new Superman, blah, blah, blah. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, our new Batman, blah, blah, blah. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, our new Wonder Woman. I don't know that they're doing that. Blah, blah. And by the way, we already listed off a number of projects coming, but we just signed up and blah, blah. And here's our next one coming, blah, right? And you take advantage of that and you do that because over the next couple of years, until Superman Legacy comes out, in the midst of the headlines being dominated by Blue Beetle flops and headlines of Aquaman 2 financially disappoints, you're going to need to manufacture some positive high moments. And I'm telling you right now, the biggest opportunity they're going to have to do that is Comic-Con. Other than that, guys, buckle up for some rough years ahead for DC. Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of this video, Rocket Money. The average person has around 12 paid subscriptions. Think about that. If you think you're only subscribed to a handful of services, you might want to double check. With Rocket Money, you can quickly identify and cancel all of your unwanted subscriptions. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Rocket Money will quickly and easily identify your subscriptions for you so you can stop paying for the ones you don't want and don't even use. Simply find the subscription you don't want and press cancel, and Rocket Money will cancel it for you. No more long hold times with customer service or tedious emailing back and forth. Rocket Money makes canceling subscriptions as easy as the click of a button. My wife Ann and I moved out of Burbank 2 years ago, and one of the first things I discovered when I loaded up Rocket Money was that I was still paying for a gym membership I haven't even been to in Burbank in 2 years. So stop throwing away your money. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/Campea. That's rocketmoney.com/Campea. rocketmoney.com/Campea. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Maybe you feel I'm being overly pessimistic, and God, I hope I am. And maybe you believe Blue Beetle actually has a chance to be, as Ray coined the phrase, the BDB, the billion-dollar beetle. Maybe Aquaman 2 can surpass expectations and cross that billion-dollar mark. Or you don't even need a billion-dollar mark. Cross that $700 million mark. A DC movie has not crossed the $400 million mark in almost 5 years. I mean, anything's got to be better. I don't know. So maybe you're feeling I'm being overly pessimistic, and there can be some little wins for DC before they finally reboot it in 2025. However you guys feel about this, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thought. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, make sure you subscribe to our daily podcast, the John Campea Show podcast, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and your favorite podcasting app of choice.